So, once again, I am in the Bieszczady Mountains. It may look a little bit different compared to my last video. Currently, I am on the highest peak of the range I'm on now, Trahaniec. And it's lovely, it's green, it's a bit muddy, there's been a bit of rain. Luckily, we're kind of spared the rain at the moment, but we have a lot of wind, so I'm hoping my audio is coming out all right. But I felt after my last visit here, I had such an amazing experience. I felt so calm. It was so good to just get out completely into the middle of nowhere and just enjoy nature. And Poland is definitely a place to enjoy nature. So this video, I'll be showing you the mountains in summertime. It could be a little bit warmer. It could be a little bit sunnier. I'm praying for some clear skies at night so I get some wonderful views of the stars. But join me again in the Bieszczady Mountains. I hope you enjoy the video. Please stay tuned.
Dzień dobry and welcome to A Brit in Poland. This channel is going to bring you everything you need to know about Poland. I am exploring the country, bringing you the history, trying to tell you about the culture and show you what it is really like to live here. So feel free to check out my other media, Instagram, Facebook, and I will share links to those in the comments. I also have a website, www.britlivinginpoland.com, where I collate my videos for easy to view manner. Also, you are welcome to contribute to my efforts through Patreon or Patreon, and all descriptions are available below the video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please come back for more by subscribing, liking, or commenting. Thank you very much. Do zobaczenia.
Again, a big thank you to anyone who is helping me on Patreon or Patronite, or who has been helping me with my recent campaign to save up for a GoPro. And here, if you look at the bottom right of the map, we have Chata Socjologa, or the Socialists' Hut, or no, Social Hut or something. So it was a bit of a trek from Warsaw. We went as a similar group to the one in February, and we had a smaller bus this time because we had fewer people. But the bus is, no matter the type of bus, a fun experience. So people were singing, people are dancing, well, maybe less dancing, certainly people are drinking. I don't remember perhaps the latter part of the journey, but we had fun, and it was cool to just socialise and chat a bit with the people there before the trip really kicked off. And here is where we stayed. And as I've said in my previous video, I tell you the history of this place because it was built in like 1970, then it burned down, then it was built again, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place. And it's actually the most scenic spot of Otryt, which is the kind of range, I don't know the technical term, but anyway, the ridge of mountain that it's in. So here you have some old tools and things left by previous inhabitants. A memorial to those involved in this site, which have passed away. And one of the lucky things about this time of year is you see more in the way of colourful flowers. So you have a nice bit of a meadow around with all these lovely wildflowers, so you can really kind of enjoy nature's beauty rather than just the snow of February. So in February you tend to spend more time in the hut, and during the summer you're spending a lot more time outdoors, as long as the weather is allowing. And this is the wonderful view, which is very relaxing. I can just sit outside and just watch this for a while and contemplate life and all those lovely things. It's even better at night if you have a clear sky. And I went on, let's say, a series of trails. So my first journey was heading to Trahaniec, which you saw in the introduction. So it's not that far. It's maybe about 45 minutes from the hut to get there. And it's not too steep. It was a little bit muddy in places. Unfortunately, we had like rain the whole week or something like that before we got there. So the forested areas were a bit muddy. One slight problem with this particular mountaintop is it's very wooded. So it's a very beautiful, natural place, but you don't get perhaps the scenic views you would expect from the mountains. But you do get a wide variety of nature. Not that if you're lucky, you don't really see the nature, because the nature would be like wolves and bears and things, which are perhaps not the friendliest to most travellers. But still, you get a wide variety of plant life, some interesting mushrooms, all kinds of different trees, and it is really that kind of perfect escape from the city, which we all need from time to time. Even if you hate nature, you need to experience it a little bit. So once you actually get to the peak, you see this wooden cross, so you know that you're here, and you have to follow these cross-like markings, and then when you kind of get closer, there's a path going up and you follow some green markings, and then there's this little kind of shrine at the top. These kind of standing stones or piles of stones, I'm assuming must be stuck together somehow because they were surviving the wind rather strongly. And this was actually another place which offered at least a semi-decent view of the mountains. So yes, you have the trees, but you have a little bit of clearing here where you can enjoy that nice bit of scenery. Of course, nicer on a clear, cloudless day. But it was nice to get to this mountaintop because it was somewhere where I hadn't been before. And this is also the trail to Lutowiska, one of the villages on either side of the kind of the range. And certainly on future trips, I'm going to try and get to these villages. Hence why I will make comments about needing to be a little bit fitter. And hopefully I can find some people who want to join me on my hikes this time. Because on this trip, either people were going to different places or they were leaving the hut at different times to go for hikes. So I was taking a lot of solo trips. And I think it's always nicer when you take these hikes in a group. It just gives you a little bit of extra motivation to carry on. And you don't have to stay in the hut here. You can also bring tents as well, which gives a bit of variety. And they have like a second hut in case of overflow. So I took the trail in the opposite direction this time. And I kind of went down this trail in the winter as well. But I wanted to experience it in the summer to just get that variety and to see if I really recognized it. And it is so different in the summer. It really is. But as there's nothing significant on this trail, I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about some of the mythology of Bieszczady. And there are actually a lot of legends associated with these mountains. The first one I encountered are about these two kinds of devils known as Bieszczady and Chadi. And they moved to the mountains and basically straight from hell, apparently. And they were both quite malevolent and they were causing all kinds of havoc and nobody could live there. But at some point they decided that one group should become good-natured. And they decided they were going to decide this by flipping a coin. And the Chadi basically ended up abandoning their evil ways. And in return, they would help travelers to find their way. They would help cut wood in exchange for a pot of milk or something. And the others would sell people's souls. Would get people to sell souls to them and such. But one important aspect of this trip are the people. And generally you get some incredible people. You know, they're normally pretty well traveled. They have a lot of interesting stories. And also, they're often there for the same reason you are, to have fun, to socialize, to drink, to party, to do a bit of hiking. Unfortunately, I can only get very limited camera from inside here. Once I have my GoPro, I'll be taking a lot more shots inside. And one of the great benefits of the summer is the fire. So Marcin, our group leader, is he's like an army guy, so he knows how to cut wood very well. And Pavel's, he's a bit of an outdoorsman, so he was able to get a nice structure built for the fire. Maybe we're using a little bit of modern technology to cheat, but you know, if it works, don't fix it, right? And I love nothing more than sitting around a fire in the outdoors. It's one of my favorite activities. And of course, as soon as the fire was going, we got the group to join in, and somebody was always on the guitar, so we were doing some singing, we were doing a fair amount of drinking, a lot of shots of Sublica and Bimber and various other things were being passed around, and everyone was having a good time. And of course, if you have a fire, it's not just for warmth, it's not just for light, it's for a bit of cooking. So vegetarians, vegans, please look away. But we had a nice pig roast, and once you've had a bit to drink, it's always nice to have something to help sober you up. But also, this tasted absolutely incredible. So yeah, half the reason you come on these trips, or for some people, the main reason you come on these trips, is to spend time with these amazing people. So yeah, very cool. And here, I think, is perhaps one of the Bias, maybe. So the evil devil. And it's pretty cool. Though it's a little bit freaky when you see it at night, because they've set it up that its eyes glow red. But I ended up taking another trail.
Okay. So maybe I'm a little bit tired today. We were drinking quite a lot of Sublica, a bit of Bimber. There was some Latvian liquor as well last night. So I may have slept in, which is not ideal, because you want to make the most of these trips, but at least I feel rested, even if I may not look it. But I can say that coming out here, it really gives you time to think. Everything is so quiet, everything is so calm. You don't really see many people when you go for a hike. I think yesterday I saw like one person the entire time I was hiking. You know, because this stretch of the mountains is less touristy, and I think during the summer not as popular as during the winter. I have to admit, the winter is a lot more difficult with the snow. But it's nice to be out here to see everything so green. And I'll put a link to the last video I did, because I think it's good to see the mountain from both perspectives, because it looks beautiful either way. Maybe, well, again, magical either way. I haven't seen any bears yet. Hoping I don't. I've seen some tracks which may potentially be bear tracks, but maybe I'm just using my imagination there. But the good thing about this area as well is the trails are very well marked, so you know, you're not going to get lost that easily out here. But there are a lot of places that are quite like overgrown or muddy. It's quite, well, hilly as well, so it's not, let's say, a general stroll in the park kind of adventure, but it's worth it. It's great to come out here, collect my thoughts, struggle, and enjoy the company of the people I'm here with. You won't get so much footage, sadly, of inside the hut, because I'm not allowed to use my phone in there. and I haven't kind of saved up for a camera yet, still working on that. But I will improve my equipment as time goes on. It's great to see the channel growing, and it's really good to know that there are people out there that enjoy the work I do.
Right, so this particular trail, I was told afterwards I was actually following a horse trail, but never mind. And this leads to a village on the other side of the range, which is called Schmiel. I made it as far as I could, but there were some slightly steep inclines, and you're going downhill the whole way, and I'm thinking, right, I need to get back. And as you saw from that clip there, I was feeling a little worse the wear that day. And I decided, okay, I can only go so far. I'll conserve a bit of energy for the evening, and I turned back. But I certainly want to get back to these mountains in the future to explore further.
And we reach the final day of this particular trip. It was a lot of fun. It was quite tiring. I tried to get in a bit of hiking, maybe not as much as I planned. One thing I definitely need to do before I come here again, because these trips are kind of twice a year, is to get in better shape. And to bring some sticks next time, because I need more balance when I'm walking downhill. But it's been cool. I've seen some new places this time, but also experienced the whole, thing in the summer rather than the winter. I'm curious, whether people are interested in me continuing to make videos about this place, because I'm going to be coming here every February and every July, I guess, or at least as much as I'm able. One thing that's been very good for me here is they've been quite enforcing when it comes to me speaking in Polish, which is something I need to definitely have more practice with. I'm still doing the lessons, of course, but not using Polish enough. But just to confirm, behind me is Chata Socjologa, and it's a very special place. And if you want to see more about the history of this hut and a few more of the, let's say, features that this place has to offer, then I would recommend you checking out my first video. I try not to repeat myself in my videos, so I'm not going to go over the story again. But I hope you've enjoyed the Bieszczady mountain views, and hopefully next time when I come here, I will hike further to a couple of local villages. We didn't quite have the weather that we were hoping for this trip, because normally they would go swimming in the lake apparently. But maybe next year we'll be luckier.
And now, as all good stories, this must come to an end. We are taking the trail down. We took a slightly steeper trail to get up and down this time because of the rain, it was going to be a little bit less muddy. And luckily, as the weather kind of held over the few days we were there, the ground had dried up a fair bit, so going down was certainly a lot easier than coming up. Plus, I wasn't drunk this time, which I think probably gives you a bit more stamina. But all in all, it was an absolutely lovely trip again. I can't wait to get back to these mountains. In fact, I really, want the opportunity to explore some of the other ranges. And I will just say thank you very much for watching. Really love exploring Poland and sharing this journey with you. So do feel free to subscribe if you liked what you saw and want to see more. And if you like the video, please give it a like. And any support you can give is always appreciated. I have to admit, doing this channel is so important to me.